Okay, so how do you define yourself as an entrepreneur?
Thomas, I define myself as an entrepreneur due to having leadership and having a vision that's out of the square and out of the box for a product or a customer service experience.
Okay. Has entrepreneurship been a planned pathway for you?
It hasn't been a planned pathway, but after having 19 years in NAB with business banking, I got to experience a lot of businesses and a lot of different entities and what people did right and what people did wrong. And I took that when I moved out into obviously the financial planning business and the whiskey business.
Sure. So what has driven you to set up your own business, i.e. being like personally, financially, passion or specific skills?
It was forced upon me as a result of NAB exiting financial planning and lowering their support model. So as a result of having a large client base, we couldn't service our clients. So on the back of that, I was kind of forced to find back office support for my clients to continue their journey, their financial journey. So it was kind of forced upon me at the time. The whiskey business was a passion that I had with a few mates, where we looked at a whiskey maker that had been broke a few times, and we just thought we could do something different that a lot of people aren't doing and just take it to market. And we had a pretty set market there and a pretty clear vision.
Amazing. So how did you come up with your business idea or ideas?
Yeah, so my background was obviously accounting, and I didn't like doing the accounting. So as an alternative service stream, I thought of financial planning, and that was integrating accounting and financial planning when most people didn't have any skills, and that's what led me within financial planning. Now, with things with the whiskey business, it was more about when I was younger, we owned clubs and we had a whole heap of sort of different ideas and venues and events, and they're not industries we want to be in as professionals. So the next best thing was obviously in the supply chain of those whole sort of scenarios.
Very nice. And how large are your businesses?
Yep, financial planning is only one partner with 4 staff. We have about 150 clients we look after, and we look after around about $400 million under management. And that varies from all different tax structures, all different asset classes. Our whiskey business has 3 partners, no staff, we're all staff, and 1 distribution manager. So we got a strategic alignment with a distribution manager that integrated and started Facebook algorithms, and he basically sells all through Canada and the US through Facebook, and his own websites now through his different algorithms and his different software support and the rest of it.
So do you have a vision or goal of what you want your business to look like in the next 5 years?
Yeah, in the next 5 years, financial planning business will be hopefully cutting edge with technology. There's a whole heap of technology coming in at the moment to take a lot of the onus off us, but not to say that's taking the service skills away, but it's more around being smarter, using technology, embracing technology, and obviously targeting specific sectors. Within the whiskey business, we want to go into full production and probably produce 150 barrels a year in the next 5 years.
And how long does that take to mature?
3 years to mature in cask.
Wow. And then how important is having a growth mindset, creativity and persistence in running a successful venture?
Yeah, I think everyone that runs a venture needs a growth mindset. If you don't grow, you die. We always say that. In addition to that, creativity, I think you have to bring something different to the table. Persistence, you won't start a business unless you're going to be persistent and not afraid to fail. And they're basically the characteristics in a mindset that I'd say you need a growth mindset, you need to look after your staff, you need to look after your clients, but you need to continue to evolve.
Yeah.
A perfect example of that is Kodak. Kodak was the best film and photography company in the world. They had the first digital photography, they had the first digital photo, but they didn't want to embrace it because they had old technology. So then Apple came in and Kodak's gone bankrupt. Right. So you need to change, you need to have a growth mindset.
So do you believe that you were or are decisive in nature?
I'm decisive in nature, but I also am a deep thinker. So am I quick to enter the market? No. I understand the market, I consider the market, because we do that with financial planning every day. We just can't be aggressive or instinctive in those areas. So with those areas, you look at markets, you look at market trends, and you try to work out the best strategy for your clients. and I've used the same when we've gone into business.
Sure.
So we don't go and build a distillery before we find a market.
Of course.
So we find the market, we supply that market, and then we look for other growth markets, and then we build what we need around it.
Okay. So do you have any advice for someone thinking of starting a new business?
Yeah, do your research and be passionate about what you're doing. So don't lose passion and have a business plan. You always need a business plan.
So how difficult was it to start up a company to get to where you are today?
Yeah, it was very difficult because when you leave an organisation like NAB, they own the client, so you don't know what the world's going to look like. And as a result of that, you just take a leap of faith with your skills and your confidence in what you've done for other people to start up their business. So from a mindset, it's difficult. From a accounting perspective and a financial perspective, you surround yourself with the right people. It's not that difficult. So you get basically partner up with a good accountant, a good lawyer, and a good strategic coach for you if that's what you need to take that journey. And you document that journey during the times, and you target, and you basically put targets in place and you measure those targets.
Okay. So how would you describe your work-life balance? And if so, what's preventing it?
At the moment, work-life balance is terrible because of the shortage of staff and the normative compliance within the financial planning. Our whiskey business isn't that onerous because most of it is done via Zoom or face-to-face once a month. So our whiskey business is 1 day a month. The financial planning business is every day of the week. But ideally, compliance causes a lot of imbalance in our life, like everyone has in life. But and that's why we want to start embracing new technology to try to streamline that process.
Yeah, and also would you get more employees as well?
Yeah, if you can find employees, Thomas, you would. But yeah, we just employed someone now.
Did you?
Yeah, recently. So yeah, starting on the 20th of October. So hopefully we get some life back.
So knowing what you know now, is there anything that you would have done differently when you first started?
In the financial planning business, not so much different. I would have maybe... No, there wouldn't be much difference. One thing I probably would have done is set up my own office initially, but because I wanted to create a culture for my team, I decided to co-share. I think you become lost as an individual piece in those areas. That's the only thing I probably would do different, but then you get a cultural side and you want an environment that everyone's happy to go to work, so it's a trade-off, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay. So how did you establish your company culture?
Yeah, so basically we've got a set of rules about how we treat our clients. Our clients need to be treated like your parents or your brothers and sisters, and every time you have that conversation, if you speak to your clients like you speak to your parents if they're retired, or siblings if they're not retired, we'll create a good service agreement and a good service culture. Our team culture, we basically, I've handpicked the staff that I wanted with particular characteristics, but we treat each other like work family, and that's important because we've got each other's back. We basically know each other's life, but not too much, but enough just to look after each other.
Yeah, so the benefit of being at your size?
Oh, absolutely. I think the bigger you get, you lose that interconnection with staff, and unfortunately, when you're a large company, you have more turnover, and the turnover you'll have some cancerous eggs on the way out, and that might cause some cultural issues. Yeah, so it's important to engage with the staff, to put them at the same level. When we make management decisions, I ultimately make them, but I also run past the staff before they do. Okay. So when we hire or interview anyone, I'll do the first interview, and then my team will do the second interview, and then I'll do the final interview, because they're going to be working with them, so it's important.
Cheers. So how has your knowledge and skills from previous jobs or opportunities assisted you in building your own firm and business?
Financial planning, I had 25 years of financial planning, but no self-employed skills or no business skills. So, but when you're dealing with businesses within financial planning, you embrace what they do and advise them on what they do. So we overlaid that in our business. With the whiskey business, I was very, very new to it. Can I tell you the difference between a Japanese whiskey, a Scottish whiskey, or an Australian whiskey on taste test? No, but I'm learning on the job. So I'm doing a part-time distiller's course just to understand the process. Wow. Once we go in production, I'll end up producing with our distiller. Okay. So if he gets hit by a bus tomorrow, our business has got continuity, and both business partners are going to do the same thing.
Okay. Wow. So did you use any forms of mentorship to get to where you are today? And if so, how valuable was it?
Yep. So within NAB, they had a mentorship program that I entered for a couple of years, where I was a mentee. But at the later stage of my career, I was a mentor to a lot of these younger generational career people. There was a set program for 12 months. Was it valuable? Partially, because you got to see different management styles, which is important when you manage your own business. But apart from that, there was no particular programs that I went through. But I've been in SA Leaders, I've been Business SA, I've sat on board levels, I've sat at people's companies, I've sat at liquidation level, I've sat at exit strategies. So it gives you a good understanding of the business networks that you need.
Yeah. So what was the importance of networking and relationships inside and outside of your firm, financial planning?
With any service industry, the more people you know, the better off you are. The whiskey business, networking's not that important. You'd rather be a quiet enigma rather than Jack Daniels or a mass produced. We're a boutique whiskey business, but from our perspective, it's pretty small, it's pretty quiet, it's pretty nimble. We run it on 3 staff and we run it on 24 hours a month at the moment. Financial planning networking is really, really important. You need relationships with accountants and lawyers because you need to build a team around your clients. And not only that, you need to have the confidence to refer clients to people that are like-minded and have the same values as you do. So it's important to do that. From a relationship, from a networking perspective, it's always good to have your name out in different networks, but you need to pick your right networks and you need to pick how you behave at those networking functions as well.
Yeah, and so most of your majority of your clients coming from a referral basis?
Yeah, so a majority of our clients come from 3 different sources or 4 different sources: internal referrals, accountant referrals, and broker referrals from our side. And then obviously just from networking and different events that we do from time to time. But at the moment, because of our imbalance of work-life balance, we don't have the same time to do those aspects well.
Yeah, okay. So who is your target market and what do you market to your target market?
Yeah, so our target market is doctors, high net worth individuals, and also pre-retirees. What do we market? We don't market anything to them in the sense of marketing, but we provide them a solution to their problems and needs and financial solutions. And they basically use to integrate a team around them to get the best outcome for all clients. How do we market? We don't market, but we educate.
Right.
So our main part is to educate our clients and to interview them before they interview us. Okay. So the first meeting, I'm like, hey, this is an interview for you to interview us and us to interview you to see if we get along and if we can help you. So before we actually take on a client, because at 200 clients, our car park's full. We don't take any more clients.
Wow. Okay. And is that based off just your website alone or through LinkedIn as well?
No. So we do a bit in LinkedIn. We do a bit face to face. We do a lot face to face, and we do a lot via obviously email.
Okay.
From that side.
So how do you approach someone as an opportunity outside of your business?
I think you need to build a relationship with people and portray your value set. Once those value sets align, I think that will naturally create an opportunity or a situation. Yep. With our overseas business, we had an export manager that loved Australian whiskey, and as a result of that, we want to tailor our brand and our designs and our export market to what he needs, and so we'll run 3 different products. One will be what he would sell direct to his markets. The second one is one that we'll sell direct through his markets but owned by us, and the third one would be basically in the Australian market. Okay. So we've got 3 different distinct markets, but with whiskey maturation time, and because we're a small boutique whiskey maker, and we don't want to make more than 1,000 or 15,000. 10,000 or 15,000 litres a year. We limit on what we want to do.
Okay, right. So how have you learnt from your failures?
You just keep on growing from failures. I think self-reflection. I think you have realistic expectations for you and your team. I think you have to have some goals, but from a failure perspective, you always strive to get better. Have we had a failed business? No, but in reflection, could we do things in a different way to speed up the process, or a different way to cut some time on us, or take some onus off us? Absolutely, and we can continue to review that as a collective team and as individuals.
So how do you deal with stress accumulated from work?
Yeah, it's a tough one. People deal with stress in different ways. I deal with it really well, but sometimes the bottle gets full and it's hard to deal with. So it's a hard one to deal, but just your basics: eat right, sleep well, exercise when you can. Just to have a balance. Try to be balanced. Try to keep that balance, because sometimes we lose that balance.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So how do you identify opportunities and then act on them?
Yeah, so we had a clear, succinct marketing plan in what we want in our business, in both businesses. And from our perspective, we want to cater our existing clients first, and then we want to go out to and find new opportunities. So our main goal is to look after the clients that we got. Within that, we have new client targets and new growth targets and new client revenue that we strive within financial planning. But from a whisky perspective at the moment, we don't need any more markets because we can't fulfil the obligations because of the maturation process that we have, or the barreling process that we have, that we can fit them in at the moment. So we're just trying to supply the suppliers and the markets that we have.
Right, okay. So do you have any goals set to grow your business to a larger scale?
Yep. With financial planning, I don't want to grow more than 7 staff, because I think it'll become quite
lose your culture.
You lose culture, and I think you also lose that personal touch with clients. So I like to have all my staff integrate with the client at some point. So clients have a direct relationship with all the staff. So if I'm not there, the business doesn't stop, or the client's needs aren't there. From our business perspective, we like to be another advisor or 2 up, and maybe another 2 support staff. So we'll probably be 8 plus myself.
Sure.
Maybe run a couple other different business models on the side, or different JVs or business ventures on the side. With the same focus, but just to integrate other parties to share that risk and workload. In addition to that, the whisky business. We are looking at the moment of buying some stills and whisky making material out of Germany, and we could probably manufacture 7 days a week, but that's not our plan because we don't want to mass market. So we'll probably end up going 2 days a week with 1 more staff member, and that's about it.
Okay, right. And is that to maximise the value of the whisky?
Not maximise value, but meet demand. We don't want to saturate, and we don't want to undermeet demand, because our whisky won Best Whisky Awards in 2015, and we've actually got the whisky maker and the cask that it comes out of. So we've got enough demand to fulfil our backstop, but we also need future stock.
Yeah. Okay. So how would you rank the key 5 skills needed to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I would say passion, know your business and know your markets, communication, build a team around yourself, and be true to yourself. Like, treat people like you want to be treated, and don't burn people along the way. A lot of entrepreneurs churn and burn funds, or basically do the wrong thing to get to the next level. I just think be authentic to your values.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, do you believe there's a winning formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur?
Yeah. Be passionate and treat people like you want to be treated.
Yeah.
They're the only 2 things. And understand your business, and understand your market, and understand your finances. Because every dollar's a dollar. You can't spend $10 if you only got $1. There's a whole heap of marketing and ideas out there on the internet, and people overdo it and never get a return on equity. So I think just understand your business, understand what you're prepared to spend, have good budgets, but the main thing is treat people like you want to be treated, and communicate effectively, and build a team culture.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Thomas.
Thanks for your time.
Done.